Doesn't. No. Let's see. Wow, that track is kind of loud compared to the other ones. Hello, everybody. So, yeah. You might notice the stream is... hey there, Azurust. Yeah, you might notice my lighting is very different. I don't have my studio lights on. And I just have my regular overhead ceiling fan light. That's the normal light for my apartment. And normally I'm like sitting up, like at attention, super properly. I'm just gonna relax. Because just sitting around like this all day long, I'm fine. I sit up like this, super at attention and everything, and I start having these weird symptoms. And it's only very specifically while I'm live. And I don't know what it's about. It comes for a little while, for like a few streams it's fine. Then I come back and it starts being weird again. But hey, how about we just jump into... I'm already talking about it, so I'm going to jump into Pinball. Now, I did not plan to be playing Wario Ware quite so soon. But I thought, oh, you know what? Let's see what I've got. Hold on. I've got my hold music on. I can, actually, why don't I have the hold music and the pinball going? Yeah, I guess I could do that. I've never done it before. That doesn't mean I can't try it now, see how it works. See if, yeah. So the last stream, now if this is a cacophony of nonsense and you don't like it, let me know. Just let me know. I'm not afraid to hear. This is a totally experimental stream. So if you don't like something or you do like something, feel free, let me know. Don't say that you like it just because you think it'll make me feel better. I don't want to hear that you like something unless you like it. And if you don't like something, I want to hear about that too. I'm just playing loose. I'm just sort of playing it loose and casual and seeing how different styles of streaming go for me. In fact, up until up until about a half hour ago, just about a half hour before the stream, I was actually considering using my Griffin HV avatar that's really intended for my writing streams. And then I decided, nah, let me just go on camera and just relax and play it loose. So really, I'm not playing by any hard, concrete rules. I'm going to be playing Wario Ware Inc. That's not something I plan to stream. Well, I plan to... oh, here's the ironic part. I plan to stream Wario Ware this coming Saturday anyway, alongside Mario Kart Super Circuit. But what happened is that on Saturday's stream, two things happened at once. First off, I was having a lot of weird symptoms where I was having like numbness, like my tongue was tingling, my legs are tingling, and it's like I exercise, I get around during the day. I haven't been sitting here for hours and hours, but I go live and all this weird stuff starts happening. It's not being camera shy. I can't even describe it. It's not because, oh, I need a better chair. I sit on this chair all day long. And then I go live, and I start having these problems. And it's not like, oh, I've been streaming for 4 hours straight without a stretch break. No, I've been streaming for a half hour, 20 minutes, 40 minutes. And I started having these problems. So that was going on. And then, the Saturday before last Saturday, so like the stream before the last stream, when I was playing, Quarth, I had problems where... my stream disconnected a couple of times, then I had a lot of dropped frames for a while, and I know like the quality of people watching really severely dipped. And I was streaming for a while last week. I did the Game Boy Advance, history stream. I did that playthrough, that watch through of the press conference where they announced Game Boy Advance and GameCube. Azure was saying too much AC makes them get pens and needles in their tongue. I wish it was that simple, because it's summer, it's year-round. It could be summer, or it could be winter. There's nothing in particular that causes it or doesn't cause it. And it's been in the several apartments I've been streaming from. I've streamed from 2 different apartments at this point. And both of them I've had these problems that have appeared at no other point in my life than while I'm live and streaming. Hey, Clackaboy. So I'm explaining what's going on with this stream. You might have noticed my lighting's not very different. I'm not using my studio lighting. I'm just using my regular ceiling fan light. And I'm not sitting up at attention rigidly. I'm just sort of sitting back, relaxing, holding the gamepad. I guess I try to keep super still and rigid in frame, you know, to be, you know, to keep a professional demeanor, I guess. But I'm just trying to do whatever I can that makes it easier to stream, or in terms of, not in terms of my desire to stream. My desire to stream, but my desire to do the show is always there. But and then so last week I was having frame rate problems and like those weird stamina problems. I was deep into the magazine segment. I was only one or two magazines away. I was within 30 minutes of starting the gameplay section of the stream. And what happened was I realized that, well, my broadcast, not my broadcast software, but my view, because how I have my gameplay monitor set up. Oh yeah, well this layout, I actually have, I used this Saturday too. I've been using this for about the last 4 or 5 streams for when I use Pinball as a warm-up game. I'll have my webcam be like full, like large screen, and then have the game be sort of much smaller on the side. And then I'll have a very clearly set my new unique ticker explaining that the pinball is just a warm-up game, and then I'll have the box art of the main game. So that's something you might have noticed, but it's actually why is my timer's not ticking down? Because I did not have it. I had accidentally minimized it. Well, I intentionally minimized it, not realizing it would stop the timer on screen. But and I'm definitely drinking enough water. I'm always sipping water, both on and off stream. So what was going on at the end of last stream is I was having these weird stamina, numbness, nose tingling problems, and I gotta admit, I'm having it a little bit now. I wasn't having that before I went live. And I doubt, is it just because of me talking? I don't know why just me talking in a normal voice would cause all these symptoms. But it's not as bad or happening as quickly as before. But so that was happening, and then I was getting the drop frames again, and you know, the bad frame rate, drop frames, you know, and on my web view it said, you know, unstable connection quality, and I'm thinking, what is going on? I did not change any settings on Streamlabs, any settings on my computer. Now since then I have gone and changed some settings. Yesterday I did about an hour-long stream where I just broadcast a test pattern, and I have scrolling tickers on my test pattern. Part of the reason I do have these scrolling tickers is that so when I look at the VOD, if there's stuttering in those tickers, the ticker should always be moving smoothly. If there's stuttering or skipping in that smooth movement of the information scroll, then it means I'm dropping frames and having a bad connection. So I went in, I optimized some of my connection, some of my frame rate and bit rate settings in Streamlabs, and it seems like and I watched for an hour. I just watched, making sure there were no drop frames, making sure my connection quality remained excellent the entire time, and I was very satisfied with the test. So I'm like, you know, that was yesterday, Sunday. So I'm like, all right. So tomorrow I'll just do an informal stream. I don't know if I would do nothing but pinball, but hey, I have a very tight schedule of what I'm trying to run between now and the launch, between now and the reveal of. And the launch of I almost called New Super. Between now and the launch of Super Mario Bros. Wonder, I have a very tight schedule I'm trying to keep to. I might just barely be able to pull this off. And losing the gameplay section of yesterday's stream set me back a lot. So I'm like, hey, I actually wanted to focus on Super Mario Advance and Kuru Rin first. But I realized that because I did lose the gameplay section of last stream, what'll happen now is I'm going to play Wario Ware, which is actually one of the games I was going to play the week after this coming Saturday. No, I know, actually, no, I was going to play it this coming Saturday with me having played Super Mario Advance and Kuru Rin, 2 Game Boy Advance launch games, the day before yesterday on Saturday. So I'm gonna play Wario Ware today, even though it's later in the Game Boy Advance's lifespan, but it's still a major game in my experience of the Game Boy Advance and the prime of the Game Boy Advance's lifespan. And so yeah, I'm gonna play Wario Ware today, and reintroduce WarioWare as a potential warm-up game for future game sessions, especially anything on Nintendo Switch, because I will be playing this on Nintendo Switch Online. So I've got, what, Pinball here, I've got Quarth in the future, I've got WarioWare that I could play. Lots of games I have access to that are good warm-up games, I believe. Because right now I've got this layout for Pinball, and in the future I'll have layouts for Quarth and other games. So we'll go into WarioWare then maybe Wednesday. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. This stream's not going to be more than 90 minutes. Not more than an hour and a half long, I don't think. And what I'm going to do is, if this stream goes well, and I'm happy with the results, I'm going to go ahead and play maybe an hour, just a 2-hour stream of Super Mario Advance and Kururin, maybe Wednesday. And then Saturday, I'll perhaps focus on, I'll do a Mario Kart Super Circuit stream on Saturday. That's what I'm hoping for. Alright, so I just want to question, I just want to ask everyone who's here, Azure S. Kalaka Boy, who's active in chat, Silent Squad, lurking, feel free to remain silent, but for those of you who are participating in chat and watching, before I move on to the next game, do you like having the pinball sound, the versus pinball sound effects going on with my hold music? Because both the versus pinball sound effects and my hold music are meant to have me talk over them without it distracting too much from me talking. Is this too much? Is this overload? Because I really didn't plan to experiment with this, and I just didn't realize that, oh yeah, Saturday's stream I experimented with having the hold music instead of the sound effects, then I forgot to turn the sound effects back off for the game here. So I'm just interested in what people think. You know, I'll listen to how it sounds in the VOD, because I'm listening to it both at all now, but I'm also talking and conducting the stream. As you're saying, it doesn't F with them. F for respects. Okay. Oh, look at. I need to do this. There. Now I'll have a better time drinking. All right. So how about I need to adjust my music volume down for the game music to negative, or I need to increase it rather to negative 17.8. Negative. 17.8. There we go. And we are ready for WarioWare. Now I actually have to switch the game. I'm playing it through. Actually, you know what? I just realized. Here's something I want to do. I want to actually set up. I want to use my my SN30 controller for this, the 8-bit DOE SN30 Pro gamepad, and I leave it unplugged. Whenever I am not playing with that controller, I have it unplugged for my Switch dock, because this controller it functions fine, but it has this bizarre side effect where when I'm playing with it, like whenever it's plugged into the controller and I'm not actually playing a game. Okay, I'm gonna have to reset this. I'm gonna have to mess with my controllers. Change this to controller 1. All right, now that's controller 1. There we go. That's more like it. Where is WarioWare? Here we go. So I have not played this, and actually it's been years since I've played this on stream. Last time I played this was on Wii U. And this is my first, I just realized, this is my first chance to show off. This is the filter on the Game Boy Advance Nintendo Switch library. It has this wonderful effect where it really does make it look like the LCD screen of the Game Boy Advance. And usually, like pixelized or screen filters like this, I don't like them much. This one is awesome. This one really does. Looking at my screen here, looking at my monitor that I play the game on, it actually looks like looking at a Game Boy Advance screen, the same model that I have depicted in my layout. Now, just to be clear, the Game Boy Advance frame with the buttons and the Game Boy Advance logo, that is not part of Nintendo Switch Online's Nintendo Switch layout. I added that myself, and then what's within the Game Boy Advance frame is what I'm seeing on my television. So what if those who are not familiar with this title, actually, yeah, I might as well leave it on retro. And this game is about Wario basically seeing a big crowd at a video game launch at a toy store, and him buying a laptop and calling up all his crazy friends saying, hey, let's start a game company together. And so they start making these games that are like only a few seconds long each. And so we have this this cool computer desktop style interface for the main menus. Clackaboy saying Wednesday they'll be assembling their exhibit at Midsummer Screen, but you should be able to enjoy the stream while you're working. Oh, cool. All right. You know, it's always cool, like when you're doing something, even something you look forward to, if there's other things going on, it always becomes sort of part of the experience, part of the memory. Just like how with handheld gaming, it's always, you know, that time of your life, what time of year you got a certain game, what grade you might have been in, if it was summer break, or if a relative might have been over playing with you. With handheld games, there's this wonderful extra dimension where, might as well get out the last dedicated piece of the last dedicated handheld platform hardware Nintendo ever released, the 3DS XL. It's also a matter of where you were when you played the games. Were you in the back seat of your parents' car late at night, like some of my early memories of Game Gear? Were you sneaking gameplay sessions under your desk at school in grade school? Were you, you know, were you on a summer trip going somewhere? Like all kinds of. Were you like with your parents at the DMV? You know, waiting to go somewhere. You know, sitting in the DMV and you're waiting for your parents' ticket to get called, and you're playing a game. There's all kinds of different memories of where you were playing with handheld gaming as well, that I think are especially important. Why I like to have some sort of representation of the actual hardware unit that the games were played on. Think you can beat my games? And he's jumping on the trampoline. So what we're going to see, we're going to see rapid fire games spat at us one after another, each game being only several seconds long. It's kind of like if the Monty Python intro was like those paper cutout segments in Monty Python were game. Oh no, I lost my very first one. That's not a good showing. Where, oh, it was spinning, we stopped him. That's the end of the game. And we gotta catch the rod. We caught it. And that's the end. And I'm familiar with these. I haven't played this game in a couple of years since the last time I streamed it. But I remember just the thrill of encountering these completely random, incongruent, nonsensical gameplay experiences and needing to adapt to them and figure out what you had to do in those several seconds you had to not only figure out what the game was, but what they wanted you to do. You had to collect those 2 coins. We did it. And now we're on to our 7th game. A little Mario Brothers parody with Wario. We got the drink. Oh, we're at the boss stage. This game's actually a bit of a proper minigame. I gotta time it right and hit the ball. Hey, we did it. First try. Oh, and tiny Wario jump. Oh, the potato on wheels from all the weird little things from the games are hopping out and chasing him. He restored himself to full size and squashed them. And it's kind of funny because I do believe... Hey, you did it! Next, it's Jimmy! Now, Wario's appearance in Wario Ware... Yeah, I think Wario's appearance in the Smash Brothers games is based on this... on Wario Ware, really. So here, next we have another character. So Wario's genre intro games. Jimmy's genre is sports. Hey, it's Jimmy, baby. I'm sporting big hair and big sports. Leave me 15 cell messages to clear this stage. So each character has kind of a gimmick to them. Okay, cool. Thanks, Clackaboy. So we're going on to Club Sugar. I wonder if that's a reference to the, what, the Syrup Gang or whatever it was called in Wario Land? That reminds me, I need to beat Super Mario Land 2. You want to play my games, huh? You sure? Okay.
Come on, DJ.
Let's rock. Now, it's kind of funny how the fact Jimmy's flip phone was actually of its day, you know, like flip phones, this is 2003, flip phones were still a thing. Were still a very significant thing. This is well before the smartphone revolution, which is, I mean, there were things called smartphones, but what they were was a Palm Pilot type PDA that had with a telephone keypad. The idea of a smartphone in the sense of the iPhone or Android will not come around until I think 2007. In about a minute, there's going to be a commercial break. I have no control over that, so boing, boing, boing. Yeah, it should be. Oh no, I missed. It should be a 30-second ad break if I'm not mistaken. So when that point comes, and to knock the tennis ball back. So when that point comes, I'll just pause the conversation for 30 seconds. I won't talk about anything consequential. But this game in particular is for a forced 30-second ad break. Honestly, I'd rather do away with ad breaks entirely. I make like a fraction of a penny off of this. Like the money I make from this is absolutely negligible. I was far more interested in demonstrating these games. Well, it's funny. I think there's a Clackaboy saying he has a friend who refuses to get a smartphone. He still has his flip phone. I have friends like that. They still have them available if you want them. But I know that there's a revival of the classic like candy bar format Nokia that actually has a limited amount of smartphone capabilities, I think, but they keep it deliberately to a minimum. It's not a crazy go-nuts handheld computer, and it's something really tempting. Now, we have a Punch-Out for our Punch-Out themed minigame for our boss. So, alright, we are now in our ad break for our non-subbed viewers. Well, heck, these days, I wouldn't be surprised if even the subscribed viewers had to watch ads. Smooth groove. Oh, and Jimmy went to the gelateria. You did it. You're moving on to the next 3, man. Oh, so yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is where it branches off. We have a branching path here. We have several options we can choose from. I like how it does it like it's actually loading in. We have dribble. I mean, it's dribble and spits, and it just says dribble. Poor little cat got sort of sidelined. We have We have dribble. Their genre is sci-fi. We have Mona. Her genre is strange, and we have 9-Volt, whose his genre is Nintendo. So that's dribble. Hey, I'm Dribble. This is my pal Spitz. Survive 25 miles in the cabin. We'll get you home. Science fiction's not our thing, but we've made some fine sci-fi games for you, H. So they run the taxi company in town. And by the way, I'm probably going to end the stream at 6. I'm probably going to end the stream in just about a half hour. It's going to be a short stream. I love like the atmosphere of these nightlife scenes.
Where you going?
That voice, it was like the sea. 10-4. And even just the atmosphere with the rain and the windshield wipers, and it's cool. Now, this is interesting. They decided to go for a track with lyrics on the Game Boy Advance. Looks like they mix in some of the Wario's sort of the Wario-themed games in with these as well. Yeah, all of the games in the Wario section are themed around Wario himself. Yeah, it's not very high fidelity, but the fact they chose to have a track with lyrics on Game Boy Advance is really interesting. Was that supposed to be Kamen Rider? Yeah, and Azurus is giving an ovation for the. Oh my goodness! They're giving an ovation to the animation. Oh, we control the rocket. We can't crash into the meteors. Okay. And in each game, in each little stage, each character's little theme, you see how you have to assemble the giant robot. Yay! Okay. You see a number of games you've completed is contextualized differently in each one. So, and this one, it's 12 miles. We have to shoot the UFO. We've got. Yeah, so we've traveled. This is our 13th mile we're traveling. Hit Mars. Boom. There. We just destroyed Mars. Sorry, Elon Musk. Okay. Oh, neato. Put it in, do those inputs to send the beam to destroy the Kaiju Bowser. Alright, we're almost done already. What? Squash that bootleg Goomba. Oh. Oh no! Our friend got caught. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's keep going. Oh no, I missed my drink! I got a drink in real life and then missed the drink in the... We have one life. We can mess up once to beat this boss. I remember this game. This game is actually pretty fun. I mean, they're all fun, or else I wouldn't be playing this. But then again, I did play Animorphs, willingly play Animorphs, in spite of its infamous reputation. Oh wow, I could hold the button to shoot rapid fire. There we go. Have you ever streamed on Monday before? It's been a long time. I think I used to stream, what, Tuesday, like earlier in the year, I think it might have been Monday, Thursday, or Friday, or something like that. I forgot. Yeah, we have to zap it when it leaves. You have to zap the nucleus. Oh no. You have to zap the nucleus when it leaves the cell membrane. That was a risky move I made right there. I think it has another form after this. Oh no, it doesn't. I think, yeah, I forgot what I was doing. I was like, I think I was doing Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday or something crazy like that. Yeah, that was fun. It was a good, nice trying to keep up a schedule like that, but boy did it wear me out. You know, seeing someone become a merfolk and jump into the sea would be pretty wild if not for the fact that you are literally an anthropomorphic cat and dog. So even in a world where a cat and a dog could run a taxi cab, that's pretty bananas. Hold on a second. Hold on. I never did this before. ZL and ZR. We need to take a look at something. Look at one. Okay, look at Dribble's right hand, which would be to the left of the frame. He has 6 fingers on his right hand. And it can't just be like, oh, that's just how they... Like, it was a clear mistake because he has 5 fingers on his left hand. Meanwhile, Dribble doesn't have digits at all. That's an art style thing, but Dribble having... Oh, yeah, there's a feature... I've got to mention, there's a feature in a lot of these retro games that are republished on digital libraries where you could rewind the game to try again at something. I personally don't like doing that, but I'd never noticed before that Dribble has 6 fingers on his right hand in this shot. And here it's the same hand, and he has 5 fingers again, so it's clearly a mistake. Yep, so after all that bananas craziness, Dribble and Spitz went to go get some ice cream. Or no, some gelato, excuse me, I don't want to confuse the two. Whoa, hey H, all clear. We misjudged you, pal. I don't know, they didn't seem really judgmental to begin with. I think we're unlocking a new minigame here, and it does do it up like as though it's downloading a file, which is kind of neat. Chiro Tori, a minigame. So, genre strange. Hey, I'm Mona, and I'm super busy. I'm late again, so I've got to ditch 15 cops to save time. Those other games are boring, but not mine. They're strange, but perfect for a guy like you, H. Oh, you know me too well. We're started the gelateria itself. Oh, I guess this is in the morning. The dog shopkeeper goes to... It's kind of funny how, you don't really think... To a certain extent, the Super Mario Brothers movie. Oh, by the way, I want to talk about stuff I've got recently. I don't get a lot of trinkets and stuff like this, but I've got the plumber van from the Super Mario Brothers movie as a little die-cast toy car. I'm gonna take this out the packaging. I'm not a collector who keeps things in the packaging, and they made millions of these. This is not rare in any. I don't buy little stuff like this often, but this is like a once in a year kind of purchase. I don't buy a lot of stuff like this often, but it'd be good for going on top of my computer. And yeah, it would just be a cute little figure. Cute little thing to have. Next to some of the other dorky little toys I have on there. Hey, Adelheid von Amberg, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. I did not plan this stream. I had to cut if you check back on Saturday, I don't know if you're there lurking or whatever, but I did a stream where we looked at the press conference where they revealed GameCube and Game Boy Advance. Then I did some reading of the magazines that were the first time that I learned of the existence of the Game Boy Advance. And I was going to do gameplay of Super Mario Advance and Kuru Ren, but well, two things happened. First, I was having connection problems with lots of dropped frames because of, I don't know, my internet's the same, but I guess things changed to the point where my settings weren't optimized for what I was trying to do. So I went and changed some settings in Streamlabs OBS, did an hour-long just test pattern. I just ran a static, well, it's not a static test pattern. It's a test pattern that has a scrolling set of numbers so I could watch and make sure there are no drop frames or stuttering in the animation of the scroll. And also kept a close eye on the quality of my internet connections, my upload and download speeds, and my connection quality, making sure nothing dipped at any point. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try some new things to see if I can improve the quality of my comfort, my physical comfort streaming. Because I used to sit up really super, like, up, alert, and at attention during all my streams, and it makes, I don't know why, I have weird symptoms doing that. And when I'm relaxing, I don't have bad posture, but when I'm just relaxed and sitting back, holding the gamepad in my hands, I've never had those kinds of problems. This is the same setting I use for my recreational computer use, a lot of my professional computer use is all at the same setup, and I only have these weird problems while streaming, and sometimes it seriously affects my ability to conduct, because honestly, ideally, my ideal format is 2 hours, it's like a 4-hour stream with a 10-minute break in the middle is my ideal format. And a lot of times I can't get anywhere near that because I'm having these weird symptoms. Sometimes it's not so severe, and for a while I have no problems. But then I'll start having weird problems again, and it's not. I've tried. Oh, gotta focus for this one. Man, the enemy. Yeah, we got it. Wow, we didn't take a single hit either. And so I'm gonna see if I'm clearing out schedules in terms of like Zoom calls and going places. I'm gonna clear it out, see maybe if several streams in a single week will do it. And several shorter streams, that is, specifically. Man, Adelheid van Manberg, I wonder, oh, an acupuncturist. That's something to consider. But, yeah, it's something to consider, and my wallet hurts already, so, yeah, I'm too busy just trying to maybe find a bigger apartment. But it's something to consider. I don't know. But the thing is, if this is a problem I was having throughout my daily life, that would be one thing. But it's only while I'm sit down to stream. When I sit down to use the computer in any other context, I do not have these problems. So, hey, I don't use those intense studio lights. I'm using my regular ceiling light for my ceiling fan lamp for my my ceiling fan lamp for my apartment instead of my my LED ring light. And so softer lighting, just more relaxed pose, and let's see if this is something that makes a difference. There are other solutions, other things I'm considering as well. In fact, I even considered using, on an experimental basis, using the PNG Tuber avatar that I got from my writing streams, just doing that for a gameplay stream just to see how it was. Now, I do not want to extensively use that outside of writing streams. If I was going to use any sort of avatar or PNG Tuber or VTuber thing, it would be of Lunarian H. That Griffin H character is only for writing streams. Azurest is saying, get a girl in a bikini to massage you during your streams or acupuncture while streaming. Well, there's no place for a girl in a bikini to stand behind me. Right behind me is my closet door. So I don't think that's going to work from that aspect. Now, this here, all these retro games in 9 volts mini game set of micro games. It's still very early on, and I mean, think of this. This is pre-Virtual Console. This is pre-Wii Virtual Console. This is pre-Wii Virtual Console. This is before the NES Classic series of NES re-releases for Game Boy Advance, just, you know, the year after this. So this is like some of the first acknowledgement Nintendo has given of most of these games haven't gotten any sort of acknowledgement. It's the first game, the time a lot of these games have gotten any sort of formal acknowledgement from Nintendo since they first came out. And Jacob AB is saying and guessing it might be some sort of psychological issue. I was thinking so, but like honestly, now that I'm not sitting up at attention and I'm just sort of physically relaxed. Like psychologically, I totally want to do this. Sound like, oh, I'm nervous. What if I mess up? What if I have a cringe moment on stream? I'm not nervous like that, but it's just like the physically, rigidly sitting up at attention to be perfectly framed within my webcam window. And oh no, I missed. Clackaboy saying she can be concealed in the closet and a door swings open every now and then. I'll tell you. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what. That would probably make my stream a lot more popular, just not in the way I'd want. And look at this, a reference to the Virtual Boy on Game Boy. A reference that these micro games right here are some of the few some of the only acknowledgments within a game into the existence of Virtual Boy. Now, this is a real Nintendo history throwback. This is a throwback to these automated, coin-operated batting cages that Nintendo ran in Japan, I believe in either the 50s or 60s. And this is a reference to that. And you know, it's funny because the way that this old Game Boy RPG looks, it reminds me so much of Final Fantasy Legend. Oh, thank you, Elide. The GBA SP is here. Look at 9 Volt's face. Pick one up today. So that lets you show you, like, the sort of this is so very specifically of the era that, you know, that the release of the Game Boy Advance SP is actually, like, referenced in the game itself. And he goes to the store to get online to get one. Now, I did not get online for my Game Boy Advance SP. I'll tell you the story of how I got my Game Boy Advance SP. I had my launch week. I got my Game Boy Advance launch week with my mom. I remember going with my mom to all these different little electronic stores and camera shops throughout Manhattan and Queens. In Brooklyn, trying to find some place that had the Game Boy Advance. And I got it. I got the purple one. I was proud to get the purple one because the purple was the flagship color. I knew it would match with my purple Game Boy, with the purple, the purple remix #1. Yeah, with the purple GameCube I was planning to buy later that year in 2001. And I knew the Game Boy Advance and GameCube would be, you know, linked together in special ways, so I wanted to have the system launch. And then I was like, oh, wait, I forgot. I'm a self-conscious high school student. Yeah, I forgot about that. So I didn't get made fun of too much. I got made fun of more for liking Nintendo than for liking... I didn't get made fun of for liking video games. I got made fun of for liking Nintendo specifically. But that's among the cool kids. Now, like, I guess the epoch I was in high school, like, pretty much everyone played video games, or if they didn't care if you played video games. But then there was, like, the cool kids within the context of everyone who played video games that only played on Xbox and PlayStation. And then I was kind of a nerd for liking Nintendo. But then so there's a larger selection of people who played games, so just playing video games alone didn't get you ostracized. But then there was a nerd techie clique that I was in, where like everyone just loves all video games, and that was kind of those are the people I rolled in. So I wasn't like really segregated into this sort of nerd subclass like I might have if I had went to school like a decade or two earlier, or maybe if I went to a different high school with sort of a different like vibe to it. But at the same time, like, hey, I'll tell you what, I got made fun of more for having an iPod in high school than I did for playing video games in general. I remember I was the first kid in, like, I was, it shows you the era I went to high school. I was the first kid in my high school to have an iPod. And I remember mostly people I didn't even know me that would know me, spoke to me, wasn't really friends, wasn't someone I rolled with or hung out with, but oh, I'm like, that's so nerdy. Why would you have a weird little computer to listen to music to, and you could just get a Walkman like everyone else? That was kind of the era I went to school in. It's and a few kids had cell phones, but they were the really cool kids. It wasn't unique, especially common or anything. And smartphones were just not a thing. They were years away from coming out. But when it gets to me being a self-conscious nerd, is okay, no one made fun of me for having a Game Boy Advance, but having like this purple toy-like looking thing, I was thinking, my thought was, the Game Boy Advance originally model did not have a lit screen. And there's a mod you can get. You could send your Game Boy Advance to some company, and it was called the Afterburner. They'd install a front light into your Game Boy Advance. And I thought, hey, I know, I will import the black Game Boy Advance, so it's not that purple toy-like color. It's something a little cooler looking than the purple Game Boy Advance, even though the physical design's still the same, and it's still clearly a Game Boy. My thought was, hey, I'll import the black Game Boy Advance from Japan, and then I'll send it in to have the Afterburner mod put into it. So I'll have the black Game Boy Advance, less childish looking, with the lit screen. It's going to be the ultimate Game Boy Advance. And then, right around the time I was going to pull the trigger on that, they announced the Game Boy Advance SP. And one of the signature colors is the black one, but even before they confirmed the launch colors for the North American launch, it seemed very obvious that the black Game Boy Advance SP was going to be Japan exclusive for the foreseeable future. So hey, I'm a self-conscious nerd in high school. I don't want to look so dorky. I want to look like a nerd, not a dork, let's say, right? And so I was already thinking, hey, I'll replace my purple Game Boy Advance with a black one and get a lit screen. Hey, now there's a Game Boy Advance with a clamshell resembling a flip phone, so it looks a little more like the cool cell phones all the cool kids have, right? Or actually, only a few of the cool kids even had cell phones then. And it's black, so it's a cooler color, cooler looking design, a little more chic, a little more mature looking, such as it were. So it really did seem like the perfect fit, the perfect opportunity. So I got my first ever game console import. I imported, I had my dear aunt import on my behalf Pokemon Gold and Silver as soon as they came out in Japan. But this is my first hardware import, and actually my only one so far. I imported a black Game Boy Advance SP from the late great leaksang.com. It was an import online retailer who was sued out of existence by Sony. Basically, Sony sued them for selling import PlayStation portables, which, whether that is illegal or not, Leaksang simply could not afford to fight the legal case. They just had to close their doors. All these cute little rabbit things with the space helmets. Now these logic games are twice as long. Hold on. Yeah, these all games are all logic, sort of reasoning-based games, and they actually these games take twice as long to play as the normal games. I think these games are measured in terms of beats. I think normal minigames oh, we gotta inspect. We have a cheat sheet right here on screen, of course, which makes it a lot easier. This game is depressing. We want to haze the game. So we say that it's depressing. And by the way, I'm playing with the corded version of the SN30 Pro gamepad by 8BitDo. And it's really great. I've played... Okay, I don't know what was different about it, but something about it stood out to me, like, almost subconsciously. Right down. Yeah, there's something... Oh, 3. 3. Watch out. Here it comes. And, snug as a bug in a rug. We'll never see the sun again or escape from that spot, but he's happy. Oh, I see. Yep, we found the flea. Time to call the exterminator. Gotcha. 1, 2, 3, 4. The octopuses and squids are both cute, but the octopuses are way cuter. There you are. Gotcha. I don't know, something about the way the art style of those cats in the alley reminded me of the Exidy game Chiller, and that's not something I want to think about when I think about a bunch of cute, innocent cats. Oh, I love how simplistically this monster is drawn. You can attack now. What will you do? Pile driver or Pied Piper? We'll use pile driver. That hurt a bit. Hungra is attacking. What will you do? Duck or dock? We will dock. We will duck. Hungra's attack does not affect you. Try using magic. What will you use? Freeze or freeze? It's on the ropes. Last chance. Time and press A. Failure, success. Success! Gotcha. The coup de Gracie. You felled Hungra. Earthling, prepare to be dazzled by alien powers. Shucks. Bye. Oh! Shucks. Classic. Shucks. Yeah, like super minimalist Keith Haring monster. Honestly, I'm surprised. I never actually sat down and tried to imitate Keith Haring's art style, because that's something that I could potentially get a little bit of mileage out of with my limited artistic skills. Not to suggest that Keith Haring was in any way untalented, but yeah, that's something. Yeah, I never actually tried to sit down and emulate his art style. Genre reality. Hello, I am the genius Dr. Cy Krygor. I made a miscalculation and now I have an output error. Urgent, flush this thing 15 times to restore order. My games are realistic. H, let us begin. Yeah, so all his games are based on, like, on actual photographic elements that they sort of imported into the game. Uh-oh. Looks like that potion got the better of him. I like how he has his restroom in his own house actually has like a men's room sign, like it's a public restroom. Eat. You just have to jam the A button to eat the banana. Potassium. Tomato. Tomato get. Cut.
Very nice.
I don't think that steak was totally uncooked, but... We reflected! You see the glorious Mount Fuji sunrise. I forgot that minigame. You're playing Pong with, like, Breakout with a watermelon and a Japanese businessman. Oh no! The kitty isn't fully asleep. We lost a roll of toilet paper. No! How are we missing so many so fast? Oh. Gotcha! Aww. Oh, we missed this. You only have one life left. Come on, pinch the edamame. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, that cat is so cute. Oh, we got to the boss. We got to the boss. Now, I'm playing as the head, and we're defending Earth from meteorites that are launched by the spittoon. I don't know. Now the laser beam shoots automatically. I'm moving the laser by pressing up and down on the D-pad. Okay, we got it just in time. Now we have to defend Earth from the spittoon, the projectiles, and attack the spittoon itself. Yeah, I guess it's a vase. I don't know why. You know what? The fact that it has that metal look to it made me think of it as being a spittoon. Oh yeah, this game is like a collage of art styles, especially this particular mode where they're using lots of photographic elements. So, it is on the verge of 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I won't play past 6:30. But I am hoping that I'll be able to beat the game today. And I say beat the game in terms of just playing it, beating its basic mode.
Hey, come on. Yeah. No.
Very good indeed. My H theory was valid. Yes. And yeah, Sky Hype as well. Got to point that out myself, so thanks for covering that for me. Oh no, I don't want to play the hurdle game. Okay. And this game is really cool. Just the fact that you have access to so many different mini games and stuff within one cartridge is neat as well. So we have Cat, genre nature. Hi, I'm Cat. My little sister Anna asked me to use my ninja cuteness and save Prince H in room 25. We think flowers and animals are neat, so we put them in our games. Oh no. Okay, we've got a incoming story here. Jacob Baby saying, when they were in middle school, you brought your black 3DS XL on the bus one morning. And I could talk about how old that makes me feel, but I assure you, Jacob, and everyone watching who could relate to that time frame, your day is coming. And I mean, I know there are people that I make feel old when I talk about having a Game Boy Advance SP in high school and an original model iPod in high school. So, actually, it was an original model iPod. But anyway, I brought their black 3DS XL on the bus. I didn't know the 3DS. Oh yeah, I forgot the 3DS XL came in black. I had a regular model 3DS XL black. And when it was gone, when you stepped on the bus, you realized it was gone, but not in my pocket where you left it. I panicked and waited for everyone else to get off the bus to see what happened to it. Then your old friend Carlos handed it to me. I was relieved, but couldn't help feeling like I hadn't stuck around. He might have just kept it and not told me, or he would have grew legs and wound up with another. Yeah, hey, I'll tell you, I got off this is in high school. I'm running, it was snowing out, and I dropped my Game Boy Advance SP with Mario and Luigi. It fell in my pocket somewhere, and it turned out to be in my front yard, but I lost it, and I didn't know where. I thought I lost it in my house somewhere, because I'm like, I know there's no way I'm losing it in school somewhere, because I keep too close track of it at school, so I knew I had to have lost it in my house somewhere. And when the snow started to melt, I found my Game Boy Advance SP sticking out of a literal block of ice. And I thought, oh no, it's shot. So I opened it up, and I found my game of Mario and Luigi. It was still in sleep mode from where I forgot it like a week earlier. A week or more earlier. It was the craziest experience. It was the true glory days of Nintendium engineering. But yeah, fortunately, I don't have any experiences like that. But then, but I had the unique experience of, due to different disability stuff, I actually did have a laptop with me in high school. I had a 2001 model iBook in high school that I used for my writing stuff. And it looks like this demon is causing this guy to get sick. Prince H must be... Oh, that Shogun guy is supposed to be me. Okay. But, yeah, so because I had a laptop with me in high school at a time when very few kids even had cell phones, I was used... And now, what I wish I had back then, if I knew this existed, I would have loved to have this almost instead, because this is so... Like... This is so much... Well, first off, there's, like, no desire to steal this. All this thing does is write. And you just plug it into any computer. I could tell you all the weird stories I had because of using a laptop as a disability in high school. If I knew this thing existed, which is specifically made for kids to use as word processors in high school, much more durable. Though, honestly, 2001 iBook was probably the most durable laptop on the market at the time. Frankly, as opposed to modern-day Apple notebooks that are, like, made of glass and break if you look at them too hard, or so I've heard. But a Clockaboy's talking about, you know, some streamers have a cat channel point redeems that will showcase their cat on cam if you redeem your points. Huh. Yeah, that's cute. But I don't have a cat, and I never will, so... You know, a very famous Japanese castle like that one actually burned down not even just a few years ago. It was very tragic. Because Japanese castles were built out of wood. Because stone wasn't so readily available. So even as a fortified military position, it was still made of wood. Now we have another track with lyrics here. And Jacob maybe is saying, you forgot to mention it was likely reason it dropped out of my pockets because you were wearing baggy, slippery, oversized basketball shorts. I remember having, okay, if you ever look up Janko pants, JNCO pants, Janko jeans, I had those in the 90s. I wore Janko pants to school. Now the pockets weren't, now I'd have lots of jeans, whether they were jeans. I'd always have pockets with big, like, pants with, like, sort of, not big baggy pants, but pants with, like, big side pockets where you could put something like a DS or a Game Boy Advance SP or a Cybico, if you remember those. What I used as a word processing device before I got my, my laptop. Yeah, I love the look of, like, that LCD game look. I wouldn't want a cute kitty. Yeah, well, honestly, I'm just not home enough to responsibly care for one. I know they are very independent, but I'd want to be home more often than I am at this current stage of my professional and personal life, and not traveling so much to care for any kind of pet, let alone a cat. And yeah, I'm not big into the whole waste drop. Have they go to the bathroom inside? I'm not big on that. In my life I've had dogs, and unless they were very elderly, they were, able to always go outside. Yeah, and they're also very expensive, and I'm not exactly rolling in dough right now. If I ever get a pet, I'd want to have enough money to, if they suddenly need to have surgery or something, I'd want to be able to pay for that out of pocket, no problem. Yeah. Well, it's funny because, Jacob AB, it's funny because I didn't like Jenko jeans. I didn't go out of my way to get them. I just sort of got them because they were in the store, and it wasn't it was just kind of the style. It was just kind of a thing that was around. It wasn't anything. I don't think I got any sort of attention for wearing Jenko pants, either positive or negative. It's just something people had. Now, later in high school, throughout high school, I did wear these I did have these black baggy pants that I get from Hot Topic. And it's kind of funny because, I'm at high school, so I'm at a point in my life where my parents, I'm still, I don't have a job or anything. My parents are still buying my clothes for me. It's, they're in the store with me. It's their money. And they'd get me these, and I, mind you, I'm not upset at my parents or anything. I'm just telling the story, right? They'd get me, and this is just part of how parents are or whatever, they got me these black baggy pants with all these belts and straps all over them, looking like a Kingdom Hearts character from the waist down. I had this look that I'd like to go with. I'd have an orange top where there was some kind of orange sweater or an orange polo shirt, usually some form of orange sweater. And then I'd have these black baggy pants, all these belts and straps all over them. And then, just not that, by the time, and it wasn't that long after, I remember, in freshman year in freshman year college. And in freshman year college, I did go to a commuter college. I was still living at home. And, yeah, it was definitely a different era. It wasn't quite... Yeah, it's as you're saying, there's pet insurance. It wasn't quite goth. Yeah, it wasn't goth. But it was something else. It wasn't gothic, but it wore these black baggy pants, all these belts and straps all over them, with an orange top. And that was kind of my uniform, so to speak. Just how I liked it. And just so, senior year, high school, no thing. And then when I went to freshman year college, my parents went through this phase where they're trying to adjust the idea of me growing up and being an adult, and so am I. And they went through this thing where they're like, oh, you're too old to wear that now, and this isn't you. This isn't you. I'm like, how can you tell me that this isn't me? How can you tell me that that's not my style or doesn't reflect who I am as a person? It's like, oh, these don't reflect who you are as a person. I'm like, and they were so upset whenever I'd wear these pants. I'd hear it from them. The way in which I'd hear it from them is like if I was, a girl and was wearing extremely provocative, scantily clad clothing. Is the level at which I felt I was being lectured and spoken to and opposed. And eventually, they wouldn't stop me. I'm an adult, but I'd hear so much of it. Eventually, something happened where all those pants coincidentally got destroyed in the dryer. There was a minor dryer fire at the laundromat or something. The pants got destroyed. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. Because at that point, I was actually trying on different styles. And I was really more sick of hearing it from my parents than I was actually intimidated or anything by it. They didn't... So, by coincidence, I was sort of done wearing them. I actually was done wearing them by that point. And I was really just sick of hearing my parents. And that's really some of the most, I guess, invasive my parents ever got in terms of my styling or whatever. Or, like, how I dressed. Other than that, I mean, my parents bought all my clothes. I was in the store with them, and so it's not like I ever bought something and my parents were shocked, like, oh my gosh, what is this? What are you wearing? So it was kind of weird when they bought me those clothes, and then, like, you know, just a year or two later, they went through all these changes about how, you know, I'm too old to wear it, or that doesn't reflect who I am as a person, or whatever. And then another thing that happened when I went to college is my parents went through this thing where they were basically like, you're in college now, you can't have hobbies anymore. And when I say you can't have hobbies anymore, yeah, like, they paid, but I chose what I'd wear. My parents were really, really liberal in terms of, like, letting me do my own thing. So the little times where we did have friction, and mind you, the friction is a natural coincidence of me becoming an adult when they're used to me being a kid and under their authority, you know, both of our whole lives. And so it's a lot of different things at once. So it's not like they were being cruel or unusual or anything. It's just part of the normal friction of me growing up and then my parents getting used to the idea of them not having authority over me. But the other thing that happened was this phase where, right as soon as I went to college, where they were like, you can't have hobbies anymore. That's not what they said, but it was more like, at one point I was interested in getting into live Steam models, where I have my first a little bit of income, money to spend at my own pace, and I wanted to get into live Steam models, little models of Steam tractors and stuff like that that are radio controlled, and my parents were like, this isn't a thing for you to get into because you're an adult now, you have hobbies and you're in college now, you have responsibilities to deal with. And it's like, okay, that's strange considering that then when I went to get my Wii, they had no problem with it. They're like, oh yeah, I'm going to the midnight launch of the new Nintendo system. Like, okay, have fun. There wasn't any question out of it. There wasn't any questioning of it. And my parents were both gamers too. And so it's kind of funny, like, okay, so I'm still okay to play video games and buy video game systems, but getting into live Steam models and sort of more what are traditionally considered more sophisticated hobbies, they were kind of like, oh, you're too old for that. You're an adult. You have responsibilities now. I'm just like, okay, I'm paying my car insurance and everything I'm responsible for. So it's just kind of weird little ideas of, you know, my parents trying to figure out what it means for me to be an adult, as I do as well. And then that's something that, you know, I've talked with both of my parents about that, and it's just kind of like, yeah, we're all going through changes then, because you're going through the change of becoming an adult, and we're going through the change of trying to figure out what it means for you to be an adult. Not just for anyone to be an adult, but for me specifically, as an autistic adult who's going to have sort of esoteric tastes compared to most people. And at a time, oh no, I missed. And at a time where the definition of adulthood changing, where and I was in a region where housing prices in general are going up like crazy, where adults, you know, people aren't moving out on their 18th birthday anymore. Like, you know, like, because I used to want to, you know, I was really wanted to move out as soon as I, you know, got out of high school, and for various practical reasons, including actual responsibilities, it would have been reckless for me to have moved out even if I had the financial means to do so. There are things I needed taken care of at home, and I couldn't afford so anyway. To do so anyway. So, like, the world was just changing so rapidly. What adulthood was changing so rapidly. And just like, if you look at Rocko's Modern Life, set in a representation of early 90s, if you don't know, Rocko's Modern Life was a show on Nickelodeon, basically an adult cartoon before adult cartoons became an established thing. So basically, it was an adult cartoon, but they had to make it plausibly family friendly. They really pushed the limits of what they could get rid of. There were certain, like, for instance, I won't get into detail, but there was a fast food restaurant in Rocko's Modern Life called the Choky Chicken. And they got away with it in Season 1, but in Season 2, the standards and practices of Nickelodeon got them to change the name of the Choky Chicken to the Chewy Chicken. And that's something I noticed even as a kid. So, but anyway, so it's in a cartoon about modern adult life in the early 90s. And there was this one character, Heifer the cow, one of Rocco's best friends. And the whole thing about him was that, oh, he's an adult, but he still lives with his parents. And like the idea of just that, that like, oh, if you don't move out on your 18th birthday, you're just a freeloader and not being productively occupied in any way. That idea, by the time I was becoming an adult, had become so intensely obsolete, where like me and basically everyone I knew, like, were employed and productively occupied full time in addition to attending college, and could not, if they had moved out, they had basically moved into borderline hovels where you have like 6 or 7 roommates in a house. And it was like, and that had a lot to do with the specific region I was in as well. Oh, and Clackaboy saying that their parents are not with them anymore, but they still live in their childhood home. Yeah, I guess all of like my whole family's kind of dispersed. My whole family's kind of dispersed. So my various I've had several homes that I could describe as my childhood home. I no longer have access to any of those, nor do I have family living in any of them any longer. But I am not living with my parents anymore either. There we go, found the striped brown cat. Jacob Baby is saying unemployed and live in parents' basement. Well, I mean, the thing is, like, it's all about context. Oh, wow. That's the hardest version of this boss I've yet fought. Oh my goodness, he actually knocked me out. I actually lost to the boss. But I have one more shot at this. Bam. Bam. Okay. Only 2 more. Bam! Got him. Got him. And I think that final shot actually does take out all of your health points. Okay, so this is the final remix before the final stage here. Or the final Mega Mix thing. Huh. All clear, you're cool, man, but next up is Wario. And Glockaboy saying, oh, you mentioned you recently spent time with your parents. Did they ask any questions about my streaming on Twitch? They know about it. They're supportive. They, you know, it's kind of a little generation gap thing, but they are, that's the cool thing, is they are both gamers. Because like when I got my N64 in the 90s, after I went to bed, it was my dad playing it. So, and then my mom, we both went to Nintendo World Store together to get a Nintendo DS Lite. And so it was, so both my parents play video games and understand it. So, as I was saying, if they had a basement, their kids would be welcome there. That's nice to hear. I won't get too nosy about how many kids you have or how old they are or anything, but it's funny because I had a basement in one of my childhood homes growing up, but it was like an unfinished basement. It was just a bare concrete floor and cinder block walls. It was like an unfinished basement, and it really kind of looked, frankly, a bit like a dungeon, as opposed to, so growing up and going to other friends' basements as I got older and seeing like, oh, it's just kind of like a cool, like, lounge area with carpeting and painted walls and stuff, and not like like my basement, if you've seen that infamous picture of, hold on, let me see if I could get, if I look this up, Hold on. Okay. Game. Hold on, hold on. Okay. Oh, I have to. Please. Okay. Alright. This is not what my basement looked like, and plus, I had a basement long before the GameCube era. But my basement had unfinished walls, and if I wanted to, I could have recreated that picture. That if I had that basement now, I could recreate that picture. That's an infamous meme picture of someone's very interesting Nintendo GameCube setup in their basement. Yeah, my basement had an unfinished sort of you know, concrete walls and stuff, kind of like that. And it's kind of funny because even back in the GameCube era when that picture was taken, as obviously as a joke, even at the time, playing your up to your current gen game system on a TV that small was not so unusual. Because like I'm playing on a little monitor type system, like, oh no, I got faked out, but I still went ahead and managed to salvage it. Yo, this is the final challenge of the game, by the way. These set of these more difficult Wario themed micro games. More LCD simulation. Yeah, got him just a few frames before the game ran out of time there. No, I missed. Haha, get the mushroom before Mario. Ah, sucks to be you, Mario. And that was a split-second reference to both Super Mario Land 1 and Super Mario Land 3 Wario Land. Bam! Got it. Caught the drink. I have 5 more before the boss. Got it. By a narrow margin. Got it. Okay. No! Oh, okay, I forgot I was... Oh, I was supposed to avoid it, and by sheer chance I did. Now this is the boss game. This is a multi-phase set of challenges here. Okay. You have a 30 seconds of ad break. I will wait for 30 seconds for the sake of my my viewers who are unable to avoid the ad break. Okay, I'm gonna say something. This might be TOS what I'm about to say right now. If you are not subscribed to me and you have some kind of ad blocker program that disables ads on Twitch, I do not blame you one bit for using it, because the money I make on the ads are absolutely negligible. And if I could disable ads for everyone free without them having to pay anything, I would do so without hesitation. Yeah, I don't want... Yeah, just... I have... If you choose to follow me, you get follower emotes. If you choose to subscribe at tier 1, you get a set of Lunarian H emotes for that. And you could choose to... Oh no! I missed. Okay, I keep thinking... I thought that was an obstacle. Oh, I have to focus. But yeah, I'm not... yeah, sure, it would be great to grow. I'd be sure to grab a little some pocket money for this, but I'm not in this for the money. The only reason I wanted to... Oh no, oh no. Okay, we have to do this all over again, which is fine. Because this time we'll be better at it. Nah. Eat that hot dog, yeah. Or maybe it's a submarine sandwich, I don't know. Gotta dodge the shark. 1630 rolls around. I will continue that current session, but if I do not beat this game by after that, I'm gonna put this game down and maybe come back tomorrow. Or not, well, not tomorrow, but yeah, maybe tomorrow, who knows. And Jacob Baby is saying the room's downstairs carpeted, but he kind of wish it wasn't because, you know, like it's standing when you eat in here and stuff. Yeah, like I have carpet in my apartment, but I don't have problems spilling food. I guess I'm so used to having carpet that I guess spilling food hasn't been so much of a problem in terms of keeping the carpet clean. Got the LCD Wario game here, based on a game that I think is called Vermin. No, I ran out of ammo. I didn't realize I had limited ammo. Potentially, we'll see. Potentially, highly likely. Let's say very likely. Oh no! Oh my gosh, we lost. We only have one life to spare already. This is not. But. Yeah. So it could happen. Actually, no. Definitely not tomorrow, actually. I have responsibilities tomorrow, actually, come to think of it. I have business stuff I have to take care of tomorrow. Sorry, got a little hype. Wednesday for sure. And then Saturday will be Mario Kart. So we dodge those two. You have to dodge these falling objects. You have to dodge the falling obstacles and duck under the pipes. You have to grab onto the jetpack. There we go. You have to attack. The fact that those look so much like the things that... Faster. Okay. Now we have to fight a boss, right? Oh. We have to use the boomerang. No! Oh, we got him. We got it. Oh no, we have to escape now. What do I have to do to escape? Okay, I just have to jam the A button. Come on, come on, come on. We can do it, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it. Yeah, we made it! We beat WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games at exactly 6:30 at exactly 90-minute stream. You know, with the softer lighting. I mean, what am I thinking? I know I'm on the freaking spectrum. I know I'm sensitive to lights and crap like that. Like, what was I thinking blasting myself with harsh LED lights, like, without it being absolutely necessary? Like, what was I thinking? Like, and I mean, even the music on the stream itself is like, the music, I could hear the music, it's barely above a whisper. But anyway, this Wario game, will it really sell? You know, Nintendo, if they really wanted to, I gotta say, Nintendo are fools for not putting Wario, when they wanted to do this big mobile game push, why was, well, Puzzle League should have been one of the first games they put on there, because Puzzle League is, Puzzle League is much better suited to touchscreen than Dr. Mario was. And of course, Wario's gonna run off with all the money, like a jerk. And, yeah, so the Puzzle League should have been on there, and WarioWare, Puzzle League and WarioWare, both games that already had touchscreen versions already developed and conceived of. Should have been the most obvious first choices ever, and they just did not go for it. Yeah. So Wario tried to escape into space with the money he stole from his developers. Much like a real major game studio might. Not Nintendo, though. It's kind of funny how Nintendo really chose to lampoon the concept of game development in this way. It's interesting that the credits are all the fictional characters. No, there are actual developer credits for this. Now, this game won a lot of awards when it came out. I mean, this is a game that absolutely plays into the strengths of Game Boy Advance and handheld gaming in general, but especially short format handheld gaming. This game really, in a certain sense, it's sort of funny that there's so many mobile game motifs, so many ideas of games downloading to the system with the interface. Either way, I'm still a cat. I hate everybody. Ah. Classy. Alright. So, I think that'll call it for today. Perhaps more of these 90-minute streams, hour-long 90-minute-ish streams could be in the future, maybe. I could schedule my work life so that I could maybe do some of these, you know, several times a week. Just an hour and a half, rather than try to do 2, 3, 4 hours each time. And frankly, just having the lights, my studio lights, not using my studio lights, just having my regular casual light, taking the more casual posture, you know, not slouched over, but just not, you know, sitting up super rigid at attention, you know, relaxing with the gamepad in my hands. And one thing I will say about the SN30 Pro controller, the corded version, is that for some reason, when the Switch is in sleep mode, I'd like to see if this does it when the Switch is actually properly turned off. But I was hear this weird click sound, this little tiny click sound, and it's while I was asleep in bed trying to fall asleep, just quiet enough that I could hear it. It's sort of like dripping water from a faucet almost, but it's even quieter than that. It's so subtle, this creepy little click sound. And I'm like, one of my electronics is making a sound. Who is this? What is this sound? Which piece of electronics is making this creepy click sound? Because it wasn't a sound from a speaker. It was so bizarre. And I finally realized this controller just makes this little tiny, nearly inaudible click every like 40 seconds. It's inconsistent. Every 40 or so seconds it will make this little click sound. And then I unplugged it and it stopped. And I unplugged almost every piece of electronics in my apartment trying to figure out what this click sound was. But, hey, so I will be back on Wednesday. And little I do Wednesday, I'll play a little WarioWare as a warm-up. I'll probably make a... do I want WarioWare to be a warm-up game? Do I? Yeah, a little WarioWare... No, actually, no. Yeah, a little WarioWare as a warm-up. I'll go through some magazine reading stuff, the launch of Game Boy Advance, a little coverage, and this will be quick coverage. Actually, maybe... Yeah, actually, maybe I'll do a little pinball. Yeah, I know, I'll do a little pinball. And then a little, yeah. Yeah, a little pinball. And a little, not a big hour-plus long session like last major stream. A little read-through of some of the magazine coverage of Mario Kart Super Circuit. and then we'll play Mario Kart Super Circuit for a while, and that'll probably take about 90 minutes. So I will see you all next time. Let's see if there. I'm actually, since I'm usually not even online around now. I'm usually not on Twitch around now. Let me go actually. Let me see who's. Yeah, there's no one on at the moment that I think my viewers now would be really into. So I am going to call it there. I will see you all on Wednesday. And I am not throwing up my my title screen because my end screen, because my end screen is not ready for Wednesday. My end screen is the one that I had prepared for the end of yesterday's stream, Saturday's stream, if it had gone the way I intended it to. So I'll see you all next time. Thanks for showing up. I'll see you Wednesday at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for some magazine coverage and gameplay focusing on Mario Kart Super Circuit for the Game Boy Advance. Hello everybody, it is time for my Wednesday stream, and you know, I was just looking at Nintendo Switch Online and at my Mii, and this is a Mii. The Mii I have on my Nintendo Switch is a Mii that goes all the way back to my Wii, the first Mii of myself I made on my Wii back in 2006, the day the Wii came out. And I moved it forward to the 3DS, and I moved it forward to the Wii U, and then I moved it to Switch. And it's funny because my Mii has these dark glasses that I used to wear. There's dark prescription glasses I used to wear at all times for sensory reasons. It was a special prescription that I used to wear at all times, and now I don't use them anymore. I don't wear those glasses anymore, which is kind of funny that I'm thinking about my actual physical appearance, because this is the first stream where I am not appearing on camera. The first gameplay stream where I'm not appearing on camera. Yeah, I'm using the PNG Tuber avatar of Griffin H that Ducksick made for me. Exclamation point credits for links to all the artists who make assets for my stream. I am doing this mostly as an experiment to... Actually, I'm going to adjust his lip flaps a bit. Yeah, I'm always fooling around with those. I'm never quite fully satisfied, but Griffin Age, this is, if those who aren't familiar, this is an avatar I had created specifically for my writing streams, because I do a writing show called The Griffin Writes. It's intermittent. It just happens when I am at my house and I want to write, and it's something that I want to share or talk about. I use this avatar because I made this avatar because I did some test footage of me doing the writing streams on camera, and I didn't really like me staring at a camera for hours on, whereas the static avatar, you know, it's always just has that expression, and it's some kind of representation of me. I didn't want to go fully mic only. But this character exists purely for the writing streams, and it's not like a role-playing thing. I'm not in character as Griffin H, so to speak. It's just something I just made as a visual representation of myself. A bit of a play on words having to do with writing that only I would understand. But I wanted to test doing a gameplay stream with this, specifically to see how physically exerting it is to not be on camera at all. Because I'll sit at this setup for hours, and then once I go live, I start having all these weird, I guess, symptoms, like numbness and tingling and stuff, as though I've been sitting down for hours, and I haven't been. And it's just when I go live. And it really hasn't been happening so far. It just sort of comes and goes. It's really weird. So I wanted to see how streaming with an avatar would go for me. and not for a gameplay stream and not being on camera at all. Yeah, there are a couple of things I was thinking about working on for a gameplay for writing streams, but I ended up just writing them on my own time off stream. I'll eventually post them on my blog. But right now what I'm doing is I'm going through all these different categories and unlocking all the micro games so that when I go into the big mega mix modes, I'm actually able to properly go through and have access to all the different mini games. So like if you look at this one here, no, that's not what I wanted to do, but I might as well well actually I could just exit out. Alright, here we go. So if you check out here, like all these are unlocked, so these I don't have to mess with anymore. All these are unlocked, so I don't have to mess with those anymore. But then we get to here, like Mona's games, there's this one here that's missing. And for Dribble and Spits, we're missing just about half of these. And 9 volts, who I keep calling 8-bit because of the Nintendo reference. Oh no, Kalakaboy is asking if this means that I'll eventually stop showing myself on camera. That is something I'm never going to do. I can tell you that 100%. I enjoy being on camera. Even if I did have plans to eventually incorporate an avatar of Lunarian H, but that would not replace me appearing on camera. I have very unique plans for how I want to implement that. But I just want to see how using a PNG tuber worked, and I'm just interested. One thing I am interested is how, I guess, physically strenuous appearing on camera would be as compared to using a 3D polygonal motion capture avatar that was like, you know, like a 3D one, because that would have involved me having to sit upright and, you know, to capture my actual face and my arms and everything. When I have like the motion tracking for my arms. Meanwhile, using a PNG tuber, it's just responding to my voice only, and I'm all the different expressions I'm operating manually using my Stream Deck buttons. Which, if I ever got really serious about using the Stream Deck more often, I mean using the PNG tuber avatar, what I would probably do, and this is much easier to do for gameplay stuff than it is for writing, because for writing, oh yeah, there are a lot of Twitch streamers who just go purely mic only, or they only use an avatar, whether that's anime or like a furry character or whatever. Oh, I died. Yeah, there are lots of, actually some of my favorite, oh shucks, a couple of my favorite my favorite streamers on the site have never showed their face, whether they're mic only or only use an avatar. But if I wanted to get more serious, I guess you could say, about using a PNG tuber avatar, what I would probably do is get a foot pedal, and with just 3 or 4 big switches, and use that to... Hold on. I know I'm just taking lots of L's here. I just wanted to adjust something real quick. I think that looks a lot better. Yeah, I'll give that another shot. And yeah, what I want to do is, what I would do is I would have a foot pedal system with like just 4 or 5 big pedals. You know, one for happy, one for sad, one for like pointing, one for waving, or something simple like that. No, I jumped the gun on that one. And I get to switch between them while I'm playing and not have to reach up and touch the Stream Deck. But I can't use... There's no way I could do that for writing. Doing a writing stream, because those... I would be using hotkeys with VitoTuber Mini, which is my PNG tuber avatar program that I'm using. And those, you make hotkeys of different keyboard presses, and when I'm writing, I can't do that because I'm using the keyboard to write, for my numbers and letters and characters. You know, the little, commas, semicolons, periods, all that kind of stuff. So that would go great for my gameplay stuff, like this right here, because with my gameplay, that way my gameplay is all on console. It would be a little tricky for like playing Commander Keen or well playing a lot of DOS games that have keyboards because I'm using my keyboard as controller in that case. But all my gameplay is done on consoles, whether that's Nintendo Switch, Super NES Classic Edition, my Wii U, or my Analog Mega SG or Analog Pocket. So I could get away with using a foot pedal for that. So what I might actually do, well, I have to get a motion. I forgot. I think a leap motion they call it. I think it's the leap motion. I need something. I need something to track my arms because I wouldn't want just because I've downloaded just a free to use 3D avatar, and I've tested the face tracking capabilities on my setup, and it works pretty good. But I'm interested in seeing, I guess, just how much I can get away with leaning back and sitting casually, because the whole point of using this PNG tuber thing is so that I could sit back casually, not have to sit up super upright and everything while I'm talking, which I've done a couple of streams without, without actually appearing on camera. But it's possible that using motion capture camera thing for a 3D avatar, I might need to have my lights on, and I might need to sit upright in a very specific position, which is what I think was causing some of the symptoms before. But it's definitely nice being able to sit back and relax a bit more as compared to, even more so, than when I was on camera. But I enjoy appearing on camera. Never... Oh my goodness, I missed. I think I can move the egg too, which makes missing even more egregious. Now that Paper Plane minigame has its own minigame within WarioWare. But yeah, I enjoy... Yeah, when I talk about using a PNG tuber, or a avatar, an animated avatar of Lunarian H, who is, I guess, my actual persona, so to speak, that's something that there's more to it than just pretending to be Lunarian H. There are unique things I want to do that I cannot do in any other way. Like, for years, using an avatar did not appeal to me until I came up with specific ideas for that character in relation to me as appearing, on camera as myself. That is not something I've seen people do with, I have not seen any VTuber do what the ideas that I've had before. It's not because it's not even out of wish fulfillment of wishing I were Lunarian H, it's almost kind of ironically the opposite, so to speak. And so when using an avatar, for me, I'm not saying this is the right way to do it, I'm just saying for me, for it to have meaning or significance to me, it has to be solving some sort of problem, something I couldn't do any other way. And, oh, I missed the toast. So for me, using this, I just love how he just looks so ashamed of himself, like, oh no, I ruined his haircut. But solving the problem of how to put on a writing show, that was the reason I had this avatar created. Putting on a writing show without me just staring at the screen for hours while I type. I missed the egg again. Got it. Oh, that was a very tight window to stop the trolley in. I just barely got it. Okay, I was like frames away from missing that one. Got it. Oh wow, we're up to 40! Wow, I didn't realize we got so far. How is that a miss? That didn't seem like a miss. Okay, we'll take another shot at this. We almost broke our record, actually. Yeah, I will be back on camera for my Saturday stream, and I'm going to be starting a long play Mario game. A long play Game Boy Advance game that I hopefully will be able to get through relatively quickly. And I guess I'll be using I guess I'll be using my Analog Pocket for that. because I've been using Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch's Game Boy Advance library. No, I've been using Nintendo Switch's Game Boy Advance library for all my GBA gameplay so far. Now, if it weren't for the fact that Analog Pocket has, the newest Analog Pocket update that I have, actually upgraded the screen display options. Because this screen display option I'm using on Nintendo Switch Online, it simulates the look of looking at the LCD screen of an original model Game Boy Advance, which is sort of the frame, the sort of thing I put in my layout to make it look like I'm playing on an actual GBA. So I do like that, the look of it, and to the point where when Nintendo Switch had this mode to make it look like a Game Boy Advance, and the Analog Pocket did not, I was actually like, okay, if I have a game on cartridge up for Game Boy Advance, as well as and it's on Nintendo Switch Online, I will prefer the Nintendo Switch Online version. But now, the Analog Pocket has a mode that's 95–98% comparable to the one I like. And the funky thing is that I can also, I'm using the 8BitDo SN30 Pro gamepad, the corded version. I used to have the wireless version. It was kind of iffy with the connection things. It was a pain in the butt getting it to sync sometimes, both to the Pocket and to the Analog Pocket dock. I mean, to the Nintendo Switch and to the Analog Pocket dock. I mainly got it for use of the Analog Pocket, and 99% of the time I used it corded, and that was still a pain in the butt sometimes. And it got to the point where I was using the Nintendo Switch Online, the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I was using that controller as the controller when I was playing Analog Pocket. When I was playing Analog Pocket, I would use the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. If you plug in the Switch Pro controller with a USB-C cable directly to the Switch dock, it just instantly recognizes it as a plug-and-play controller, which is kind of incredible. And I got a lot of play out of it, actually. It was very useful. And I actually liked using the Switch Pro controller with the Analog Pocket dock. But what I decided to do was to get the corded... Oh, I missed it again. Was to get the corded Super NES-style gamepad for Nintendo Switch, which you can wirelessly use with the analog dock, but I just find it more reliable, corded, and I was using corded controllers with the dock anyway, and it's a lot easier getting the corded version of the controller to work with the Switch compared to the Bluetooth version, and it was cheaper as well. Oh my goodness, I ran straight into that. So it was easier to play, it was a lot easier to play Nintendo Switch games using the corded SN30 Pro as opposed to the Bluetooth version. So I could go ahead and use this for playing Analog Pocket and for playing Nintendo Switch, and it's just a matter of just swapping which one I plug it into. Because even when I had the Bluetooth version, I was using it plugged into the dock most of the time anyway. And I'm just trying to think of what else I have to say about that. No, so, since I do have my original cartridge for this game, from back in the height of the Game Boy Advance era, I guess I will be using it with I'll be using my original cartridge on the Analog Pocket. That's it! That's it! That right there, that's the last minigame we needed, because I never saw that one before. It was just a matter of holding on till we randomly got assigned that minigame. Catch it. No! Alright. So, getting a high score is just icing on the cake at this point. We achieved our main goal in playing this, which is to, there we go. I always beat the double nose-blowing thing with only frames to spare, and I completely missed that egg. I actually had a gas station hard-boiled egg. They just had these pre-shelled hard-boiled eggs in a cup, and I actually bought them. I wanted something hot, but I didn't feel like waiting in line to use their microwave, so I just went ahead and just got a couple of hard-boiled eggs. Got it. And I think that can be sticking as much off the back of the truck as you want, as long as it touches it. Oh my goodness. And Collectible is saying that they're in holiday heaven over there in Southern California. Lots of stores have Halloween stuff out, including Disneyland. Oh, awesome. Yeah, because I know that a lot of those craft stores especially, they want to have enough time for people to get their crafts and projects before the actual Halloween season hits, the time when they don't want to be using any custom decorations they make. Actually, let's check the, no, the interface messes me up. I've never before had gone in to really check. Alright. No, that's the wrong one. Alright, yeah, there it is. That's the last one we needed, so we got that one. So let's, go into games mode and play some of Dribble's games. Now let's see how many we have to get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 micro games to unlock in this mode. Oh, I didn't know there was a second one. I saw it just in time. It didn't quite look like I actually got that, but I did. It looked like Mario's foot was clipping that rock slightly. Oh, Collectible is saying it would be fun to see Lunarian H and his Doorworm sporting Halloween costumes. I have something to show you after stream, remind me. Yeah, I have something right up your alley that I need to show you. I have to pull it up. I'm not sure which computer I have it on, but I have some artwork like that. I haven't posted it publicly. It's perfect. I mean, it's perfectly G-rated, but it's like not something I post online just because. But yeah, maybe I'll post it online this Halloween. We'll see. Yeah, there's nothing like super. There's no like private information, or I don't do like adult-rated stuff. But, okay, we destroyed Mars. There we go. Yeah, I have some. Yeah, some art of Lunarian H dressing up for Halloween. Now, one thing I hope. Well, my only concern. This is the only stream I plan to do like this for a while. If I ever. Yeah, this is the only stream I plan to do like this. But I feel like if I were to do anything that, well, if I were ever to actually seriously get into this, it would be with Lunarian H, not with Griffin H. Griffin H is very specifically for the writing streams, and if I already had a Lunarian H avatar, I'd be using it for this. I really do want Griffin H to be specifically for the writing streams, even if I do become more of an avatar streamer, or use avatars more often, no matter what form they take. But I hope no one comes in the stream, like, seeing this and thinking, like, oh, cool, like, I'm gonna follow this person because they're into VTubers or PNG tubers, and then, oh, I thought I was ducked. I thought I was wheelied enough for that. That's silly. Oh, well. Bam! Gotcha. Boing, 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 boing. 2. Yeah, I think... Oh, here's the boss. This is the first time I replayed this since clearing the stage initially. This is one of the longer boss stages as I remember. Now, one nice thing is that merely holding the A button gives you rapid fire, which is great. And I'm not restricted to the bottom of the screen. I can move around freely. And as we'll see, it's actually essential that you do move around freely during certain phases of this boss fight. I mean, this boss fight, this minigame in and of itself is a boss, but there's an actual proper boss eventually. Now this does remind me of the Space Fever 2 minigame in Game Boy Camera, which is the only reference that's been made to Space Fever since the 1970s. And, I mean, this game right here, you know, they're doing the... I'm so shocked that with the arcade archives, they don't have Sheriff on there. Sheriff being, I think, another 70s Nintendo arcade game. Another pre-Donkey Kong Nintendo arcade game. Black and white screen. Black and white monitor only. That there's actually a Wario version of in WarioWare that I think we'll unlock eventually. Alright, so we just defeated the boss stage. And we move on to the... We get our 1-up back. Because honestly, it's the first time I'm seeing these animations. Gotcha! I was like a frame away from losing that one. I was being excessively cautious. Dodge. Okay, that was close. I was trying to dodge to the right, and I realized you probably couldn't, so... That's a new one right there. And that little octopus looks so sad. You know, this scraping his little tentacle on the ground like, aw, shucks. I just realized that there's rapid fire in that micro game as well if you hold the A button. There we go, that was a flat surface to land on. Okay, that one looked like... If they called that a failure, I wouldn't have really minded. That looked... Got it. Unfortunately, destroying the other planets doesn't count against you. Raw. There's bootleg Kaiju Mario and bootleg Kaiju Bowser. And they mix in some of Wario's own games in here. Oh! Oh my goodness. That's a new one. That's a new one. That's another new one. No! We didn't assemble the giant robot! What is it, every 10 that we, No! I ran out of ammo! That's how I lost that one. Okay. Yeah, I forget, like, the ketchup squirting minigame is kind of similar to that. Except in that one, you have unlimited ammo in the ketchup squirting minigame, but not the very similar other minigame where you're shooting the flying saucers. Gotcha. And we got 3. And 45. Transform! Awesome. Henshin! Oh, no! A little raccoon fell on the samurai's head. Yeah, I don't know if the different input things for the kaiju thing are considered different microgames or the same microgame. Okay, so we never fought this before. I forgot what they do for the second form of this boss. And it's funny because I say boss, but it's like a shooter stage in which has a boss in and of itself. You know, I really wish Retro Game Challenge was available on the Wii U, because I definitely would have bought it. And that's one of those games. That's one of those games I'm gonna have to sort to unofficial preservation efforts to play eventually. Well, fortunately, there's no time limit. Oh my goodness! I almost got them both in at the same time, but they sort of knocked each other clear of the black hole. Yeah, I'm using my, hey there, Rolliet. Yeah, I'm using my PNG tuber avatar that I use for my writing streams, specifically to see how I do in terms of just not appearing on camera, in terms of just, I guess, physical stamina. Because I realized that staying rigidly in the same spot for a long time, was at least a small part of the weird symptoms I was having, where it's like, okay, I use the same chair and setup all the time. I only have these weird problems while I'm on stream. So is it the fact that I'm sitting super upright to stay in this really tight little box that I made for myself on my webcam? Is that what's causing it? Now I do not want, I still want my, excuse me, I still want my, very specifically, I want my Griffin H avatar to be specifically for my writing streams. If I, yeah, Twist, the human form was the VTuber all along. Yeah, well, like, every form of H ever is gonna have the locks no matter what. That's like the one carryover. Like, if I was, like, a shape-shifting spy or something, like, I'd be like, oh, look, look at that cute doggy running away. And I'm like, oh, wait, that's just H. You can tell from there. Like, everyone, like, I cannot, like, shapeshift to blend in a crowd or be a spy or an assassin or anything like that. But, yeah, if I ever, I will, even if I do, seriously, like, I'm not really interested in using an avatar unless it's solving some sort of problem, right? So for the, yeah, we got a high score there. Let's go back and see how many of the micro games we unlocked in Dribble and Spitz's mode. Let's see. Oh, we've unlocked all of them now, actually, so we can stop playing that one for now. Because basically, what this gameplay session is, I'm just going through each mode and unlocking all of the remaining micro games. And here, I've got 2 more to unlock. So we'll just go in and check and go into 9 volts mode, which is of course all retro Nintendo games, which is great. Alright. Yeah. So, like, the writing streams, like, using this avatar for the writing streams had solved a specific problem about how I wanted to present writing, where me just looking at the camera for a long periods while I thought of what I would write next or ever. It didn't work good in the test footage I did. So that's why, and the focus was more on the words I was writing and not me personally. So that's why having a quasi-animated avatar, so it's like there's some visual representation of me, but I'm not on camera. I'm not just staring at my screen for hours while I write, because that's what writing kind of is, and it wasn't that interesting to me. There are a lot of writing streamers on Twitch who do a great job being on camera. It didn't work for what I want to do, how I wanted to present things. The other reason I would use an avatar, whether it's a 3D avatar or a PNG tuber, is for storytelling reasons. But none of that reason never would that entail me not appearing on camera anymore or going 100% avatar only. I always will appear on camera for at least some of my streams, or at least parts of my streams. I enjoy being on camera. If I ever stop appearing on camera entirely, it's because I'm going to stop streaming. I would stop streaming entirely before I went fully avatar only. Because honestly, I'm not super into this. I really do prefer appearing on camera. Now, when I'm writing, this solves a great problem for me. Now, if I was telling a specific story or something like that, where I was in character, and not just the idea of just appearing on stream as just myself as a cartoon monster, alien creature, furry, or whatever. I'm like, just me with a tail? That alone is not interesting. I have to be telling a story or doing something with it that I could not do appearing on camera as myself. That's what would make me interested in doing that. And why does it say connecting to chat? I missed typing the letter H because I was very paranoid about the fact that my chat says, yeah, I took another L because of that. Take that, viruses. Or just the one virus, I guess. Gotcha. And I don't know if I've seen any that I specifically can recognize as... Oh, why did I shoot the bystander? Reliat saying that they could see VTubing his way to protect privacy. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for me personally, like if I was, let's say I was like a school teacher, and I don't want like a student to stumble onto my stream or something and create a situation that, you know, could potentially be unprofessional, or have that student like accidentally expose my profession or identity or something like that. Like, yeah, and that's just one random off-the-cuff example, but I mean, honestly, the way things are now, if it wasn't for the fact that I've been appearing on camera as myself since 2005, I probably would have kept myself off the internet in terms of my actual, like, IRL physical appearance. But I've been on camera as myself since Google Video, and actually since pre-Google Video. I remember doing a video review of Clu Clu Land and uploading it to Kaza Light. Like, that's how long I've been doing video stuff as myself. Hey, it's Sheriff, that other game Nintendo has not... except for its appearance in Wario Ware here, Nintendo has not referenced that game since the 1970s. Which is kind of incredible. I mean, and given the fact that we have the Arcade Archive series by Hamster on the Switch, where we have the first ever home ports of like, Versus Pinball, the original Donkey Kong, of Sky Skipper, I'm surprised we didn't get Sheriff, Sheriff, Space Fever, and a few other of those really obscure, very, like, early Nintendo. Oh, come on. Woo! Yeah, those very early Nintendo arcade games, and really it's saying they like their anonymity too much to be a face streamer. Yeah, I feel that. And there's this thing based on those mechanical batting range centers that Nintendo was running in like the 70s in Japan, I believe. Is this the second one of this we've gone through, or did I get a game over? I forgot. Boing. Oh, we missed.
You got it?
That's a very generous margin of the hit to miss ratio that they allow for you to pass that minigame is very, very generous. Now I keep forgetting that I could pause the game. I'm so used... Versus Pinball has really conditioned me not to even think of pausing the game as a thing that's possible for me to do. I missed the duck. I'll... Just... Doggone dog. What are you doing? Oh. And Rolia is saying they don't like seeing their own face on stream or hearing their own voice, which would make editing problematic. Yeah, I could imagine. Now, a lot of people can't stand the sound of their own voice because your voice will not sound like it sounds to you, because you're speaking, you're using the vocal cords that are already inside your body, so your voice, you hear your own voice in a way that no other being on Earth can hear your voice, so actually hearing it as others hear it makes it sound like that. Why does my voice sound weird? Whereas, I guess I have a bit of a background in professional acting, and I guess I'm a bit more desensitized to that whole uncanny effect of hearing your own voice back to you as others would hear it. And that's another nice thing. I do like appearing on camera, but now that I'm not on camera, I don't have to worry about my forehead being shiny. And I mean, think, man, if I need to go ahead to bite the bullet and actually do makeup on myself to counteract the effect of my studio lights. Because when you're on an actual studio set, they do use makeup and it's not makeup that shows, it's makeup that you wear. The lighting technician and the makeup person, they will set it up so that you wear the makeup so that no one notices you're wearing makeup. It's just so that the lights aren't shining on your head, on your skin. Boing. I don't know why I have to say boing each time. It's kind of... Like Alec Baldwin... Oh my goodness, oh no. I just remembered a story that I used to like to tell the story about Alec Baldwin and something he did on set once. No, like thinking of... Oh, no, yeah, thinking of that actually was kind of upsetting. Yeah, just to explain, Alec Baldwin was telling the story about, like, you know, this is like in the early 90s, this must have happened. He was on the set of some film, and he had a prop gun, and was firing the gun, and he would actually go the psh, 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 like a little kid playing, you know, like playing cowboys in their backyard. And given the actual accident that happened, that he's, like, facing legal trouble for, that's, like, not a fun story to tell anymore. And I gotta tell you, the Alec Baldwin thing kind of distracted me from doing better in that minigame than I could have. Now, let's go back. Let's go into the grid mode and see how many minigames we have left to unlock. We only have one... We have one microgame left to unlock, and we have not seen it yet. Okay. Okay, let's play it again. So once we play the... So we have to pay attention. Once we see the microgame that we haven't seen before, we know we've accomplished our goals. Now, because me going for high scores is purely coincidental, my actual main intention is simply to unlock all the microgames in this set of stages. Boing. And it's hard to... I know I've said it before in the previous stream, but in a world before the Wii Virtual Console, before even the classic NES series for Game Boy Advance the following year, these references to old Nintendo games that are actually playable, the first time a lot of these games had ever been referenced, a lot of America's first exposure to things like the Famicom keyboard right there, to obscure games like this, you know, the Super Scope's fairly obscure, you know, and then that little second of Legend of Zelda right there, that's a lot of... Look at this is based on TV Game 6, the standalone TV game units that would have a few games built in. The first... I never heard of Sheriff. Or Chiro Tori here, the remote-controlled vacuum cleaner, until I played this game. And I'm someone who really treasured my Nintendo history, actually read books, physical books on the history of Nintendo. And there you go, the only reference to Virtual Boy. Only reference to Virtual Boy that's been playable in any Nintendo game since Virtual Boy itself. Because the one chance Nintendo had to do a proper Virtual Boy Virtual Console. The only chance Nintendo had to do that properly and have it be in true stereoscopic 3D was on Nintendo 3DS, and Nintendo dropped the ball on that. Now, I'm surprised just because it's baseball that they don't make it a 3 strikes thing. There we go. Alright. So we're on to the second set of stages. Oh my goodness, that was so close to touching that spark up there. Like, I got Balloon Fight. I was into NES since 99, 2000, but that moment right there, that was the first time I personally had actually played Balloon Fight. Because in my days of raiding, you know, yard sales, flea markets and the like, some of the earlier black box Nintendo games like Cuckoo Land, Balloon Fight, Pinball, it just so happened that I never actually encountered those out in the wild. I would have been happy to get them. Because I was aware of those earlier NES games that were more arcade sort of games, you know, those Slalom, Cuckoo Land, Pinball, Balloon Fight, Mock Rider. I was aware of those, but the idea of them being called the black box games hadn't really been established yet. There we go. Now I wonder how this mechanism works, that you can clamp onto it, but in withdrawing the master hand thing back, the ultra hand, master hands from Smash Brothers. I like how they give you a little leeway. You can see it sort of slide into the slot. Man, oh my goodness. Like, the fact that it goes to the virtual red and then you have, like, we got to the second boss stage really fast. First one was fast. I like that moment where the ball actually goes off screen. You do have to like reason the trajectory as the. Oh my god! Gosh, I missed one. Okay, so you can't. Oh, I guess for the second one you could miss up to 3 times. Man, this guy sure does get around all these different characters. I just want to check my connection quality because I know I got cocky about that because I'm like, oh, it's always perfect. The connection's always perfect. Why do I have to worry about? And then it actually did start having problems. Yeah, really late. It actually gets to the point 4. There we go. There we go. I think that's the new I think that's the new micro game. I think that's the one we didn't encounter yet. And we've played the actual you've played the actual game on that on Game & Watch Gallery for Game Boy. It's a 36. No, we missed. It's the first time we got far enough deep into that it actually presented me with multiple roads. In the Hogan's Alley micro game. And there you got the physical version of Wild Gunman. I believe it was that what that was. Okay, it didn't matter that I got shot because I took out two of the bandits, and that was the point of that minigame, to actually avoid getting shot. Oh no. I like how the jumping controls and the even though I lost the micro game, the jumping controls there are better than in the actual Ice Climbers, because the jumping, there's no jumping physics. There's no proper jumping physics like in Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers kind of invented that. If you look at Mario Brothers and Ice Climber, the jumping physics are kind of baked in, so to speak. So you just jump and it performs a jump. Oh yeah, I've got plenty of expressions for this. I've got my normal one. I've got happy. I've got sad. I've got sneaky, devious. I've got waving. I've got pointing. I've got a couple others that I don't have Stream Deck buttons set up for. But that's another thing. This setup makes way more sense when I'm writing, because I made this for my writing streams, and it makes more sense that, yeah, I know my model is above the chat messages in the layout. I'm really more concerned for this particular stream, because I was using this model. I was really more concerned with having the avatar appear up front. Oh yeah, thanks for the comments on the model. I'd like to give a shout out to Ducksick over on Fiverr for putting that together for me. No, but because when I'm writing, I could sit there and I'm writing. I could watch over and hit a Stream Deck button to make that expression appear. On the other hand, when I'm playing games, I'd have to get like a foot pedal with 3 or 4 different. Would I ever do a live 2D or 3D? I would probably do 3D before live 2D, but I'm going to experiment with well, I'd have to get what do they call it? A leap motion for the motion for my hands and arms. and experiment with a free-to-use, like just public use model. And experiment with that. I might do a stream someday. I might do a stream someday where on my recording to my PC, it shows me using my avatar, but for everyone watching, they just see me on camera like normal, because I want to see how my lighting, everything captures my hands and my face. Because I've done some experimenting with a free-to-use model already, but, you know, just off stream. But I don't have a leap motion for tracking my hands and arms, and with VC face. And so I want to see how much lighting I need, to what extent I have to remain upright in order for it to properly track my arms and hands, or how much leeway I have with that. Because depending on how that goes, it would choose whether or not I'd go with live 2D or 3D. Okay, so the helmet, the Game & Watch minigame was the last one. But the one person they know uses a female scientist 3D model with a cat on the shoulder, but speaks through the cat using his male voice because she's shy. Oh, that's an interesting concept. No, but in using a PNG tube, using a live 2D or a full 3D render, like I said, I'd have to be doing things that so let's actually check out. So we've got all of these, we've got all of these, and I've got all of these. But to use the PNG tuber and switch expressions effectively, I'd probably need to incorporate, I already worked out exactly how I do it. I'd use a pedal system, where I just have 3 or 4 pedals for, 3 or 4 key expressions. And really saying I could do something similar using my doorworm. And actually, using how I'd incorporate, if I'm gonna do any extensive PNG tubing stuff for my gameplay, it would be using Lunarian H. And how to incorporate my doorworm in that, I wasn't that interested in the idea of PNG tubing, for my gameplay stuff. But actually, the thought of how I would incorporate my doorworm into that, or Lunarian H's doorworm specifically, is actually what got me interested in the idea of actually going through with it. Oh yeah, the menu in WarioWare GBA is very, very much of its time. I mean, heck, just this in and of itself is very of its time. Yeah, the one on the left was close, but the screen was too narrow. Now notice these logic-based minigames, actually, you have twice as long to play these as you do the non-logic-based microgames. And especially Jimmy's different sets of games, where he has his phone, his flip phone is the interface. Jimmy is praised. He's excellent. And Reliant was saying they were looking at gameplay Super Paper Mario, and the mouse cursor motifs is very 2000. Yeah, very, very much so. And I remember the joke about that nerdy chameleon character, and a certain dragon that is a computer or something, and he loads with the Wii interface loading screen. Those are the kind of jokes that you'd probably ideally would have to rewrite somehow if you were going to port Super Paper Mario to the Nintendo Switch. But I don't want them to port Super Paper Mario to Nintendo Switch. I want them to port the original Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door to Nintendo Switch, but I doubt they'd allow that because it features non-standard Mario characters. And Nintendo's obsessed with their enforced homogeneity. Yeah, I love going on message boards and complaining about games I never played. Yeah, imagine that, a message board. An actual individual unique forum that's not part of Discord or Reddit. And of course, with Reddit, I'm not into Reddit at all. But I know recently there's been some controversy with Reddit, and I'm this is why I've been saying this for years. You basically, almost the entire concept of forums and message boards has been replaced by Reddit and Discord. Just these two companies. And so when one of these two companies does something stupid, basically hundreds or thousands of different communities that are reliant on these two companies doing the right thing are now in jeopardy. Whereas when you had individual forums, at least, you know, yeah, you'd have problems with, like when Nintendo had the official Nintendo Insider forums. Nintendo of America had an official forum. When that closed, everyone just moved to a different forum. And, I mean, it's Discord, if I'm not mistaken, Discord is partially owned... Shucks. Is partially owned by Tencent, which is based out of the People's Republic of China. You do not want one of your main communities, means of communication, means of discourse, reliant on anything having to do with the People's Republic of China. Oh my gosh, I was like a frame away! Okay, that felt like I was defusing a bomb for a second. But Reliant was saying, even MMORPG... Reliant saying, I feel actually going online asking information for a game you're playing, only being told to go to the Discord. Even MMORPGs that have million-dollar companies backing them use Discord to handle all their FAQs. And Clackaboy saying, their hope that Mario RPG Remake is successful, they do a real Super Mario RPG 2 in the similar style. That's the dream. Honestly, even what we're getting in and of itself is something people... dared. H is... Oh, I have to diss myself. H is weak. No, I want to use this one. There we go. Make our noodles. Okay, I did not get a good enough glimpse at that. Which one is different? I could not tell what was different about it, but just something told me to, like, look for that one. Okay, it's the 4-leaf clover right there. Yeah, yeah, all of the only really thriving forums that still exist are forums from that are like at least 15 years old. That's the only way. Those are the only forums that are still like intact right now. It's still operating. Are forums that are at least 15 years old. Because now people like my age or even only very slightly younger are like, why should I have to make it account for every single community I join? It's very disheartening. I mean, if I ever get to like something like say 20 average concurrent viewers, I will go ahead and make a Discord. But I know they say to just go ahead and make it to the Discord now, but I'm like, I'm not making a Discord. I'm not complaining about the number of viewers I have. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't make sense to me to make a Discord for three, maybe 4 people. Oh no, it's the dream. No, I was just saying the dream. Hook punch. No, the dream would be a sequel to Super Mario RPG in the style of the first one. No. Oh, okay. That boss is hard because it's so reading based. I'm trying to keep up with chat. Now that's not a complaint about. That's not a complaint about chat. That's just the realities of streaming. Now let's see how many. Let's check to see how many. No, Paper Mario was originally called Mario RPG 2, but somehow Nintendo would never do this these days. Somehow Nintendo created some sort of situation where I believe Squaresoft themselves somehow owned the rights to the name Super Mario RPG, and Nintendo was not able to use it. Either, like, they legally could not use the name Super Mario RPG 2, or Square sent them a request not to call it that because they weren't developing it, and they developed the first one, or whatever. Or there are only 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 we have to still unlock for Orbulon. So let's go back into it. Inspect. You have to find the non-bootleg Game Boy Advance. You have to pour the soup. There we go. Yeah, just seeing that makes me want to make noodle soup. But I already had soup earlier. While holding down, press A. Yeah, this is, I would say, pretty successful. But I can't say necessarily how much I feel like in terms of physical stamina or whatever. This has been about the same as just appearing on camera in my more relaxed way that I've been appearing on camera the last 3 streams. But Reliet's saying that they remember the developers used Mario World sprites on 3D backgrounds as part of the original pitch document for Super Mario RPG 2, and they loved the juxtaposition between the two enough to make the default art style. Yeah, I remember what I find wild. Did you know this, Reliet, that Shigeru Miyamoto announced Super Mario RPG 2 for Nintendo 64 during a press conference for the launch of Super Mario RPG? Like, he was even that early on, like, oh yeah, we're doing a sequel for a Nintendo 64, and at that point they were intending to do it in conjunction with Square Enix again. Oh, the butterfly found the 4-leaf clover. See how many more micro games we could unlock. There we go, we found the match. I have a feeling those little weird little Frank things that they call them, those weird little yellow guys. Alright, Reliet, I'm gonna break your heart here, but Super Mario FX was the development code name for the Super FX chip itself. Like, we know this absolutely for certain because of some of the stuff that came out in the Giga Leak. So, like, I know there's certain Miyamoto comments, and the fact that the Super Mario FX codename in relation to something relating to the Super FX chip. Oh, I didn't realize that would highlight it in advance. Yeah, no, because when the Giga Leak stuff was coming out, there was like, alright, if there was a chance for a 2D, like a 3D Mario game prototype for the Super FX chip on Super NES to come out, this would be the chance for it to come out. Success. Oh yeah, this is from the 2020 Giga Leak. And what was weird, like, the Giga Leak was coming about well before, like, the stuff from the Giga Leak was coming out. They deliberately sort of doled out their stuff well before we want to H is Super Train Station H. Yes, I was on a certain image board, a certain Pokemon image board. This is a new one, so we unlocked this one now. But I was on the board the moment the 1997, I think the Space World 97 leak for the Pokemon Gold and Silver demo, that had like an entire Pokedex of unused Pokemon, and the map was all of Japan. I was on that board the moment that leak hit, and it was kind of surreal being there for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's 6! Doggone. And we have to decide, yeah, this, yeah. That micro game has very different connotations in 2023 than it did when it came out. And William's saying their friend worked as a French translator for the Space World 97 demo. You know, it's funny because when Pokemania was hitting, the Space World coverage of Gold and Silver was out. No! Okay, I forgot how the controls for that micro game worked. I knew that was not the piece to use, I just forgot how the controls worked. That's pretty neat that your friend worked as a fan translator for the Space World demo. But for me, I think the first screenshots I ever saw of Pokemon were from the Space World 97 demo. So I remember playing through it, because I remember the early screenshots of Violet City, of what became Violet City with its pagoda that became Sprout Tower. And I remember playing through Pokemon Red and Blue thinking, wow, I can't wait till I get to the city with the Japanese, like, towers in it. I guess that must be Indigo Plateau, because I've been to every other city and there are no Japanese pagodas in it. And, Relia's saying they had an anime game enthusiast magazine from '98 that talked about Gold and Silver. Yeah, and I think it was either... Yeah, they referred to Cyndaquil as Hino Arashi. You know what? I wonder... It's refiller. What you could attack now, what can you do? Kick. Yeah, kick. Yeah, I know Hinarashi was I think the final Japanese name. And stuff from Digimon Adventure 02. No, not Soup. Doggone. Are you serious? It does not reflect refiller. Refiller's counter. And we lost. So, yeah, Digimon Adventure 02. It's kind of funny because I was just thinking about Digimon Adventure 02 earlier today. And how I came to find out years later that basically, like, multiple writers were sort of fighting with each other. Like, while the series was airing over what Digimon Adventure 02 would even be. Yeah, being the first to leak, like, I had the Japanese Gold and Silver before a lot of, like, the kids in my neighborhood, you know, within reasonable, you know, bike riding distance, even knew that Gold and Silver was announced, let alone coming out. So I was able to show it to them. I was like, they were like, oh my gosh. Oh, Digimon Adventure 02 is getting an anniversary movie. That's interesting. Because I remember, like, with Digimon Adventure 02, there was that thing where there was, like, this digital, like, this dark ocean thing that, like, Kari visited in like, a dream while she was in a coma or something. And they never revisited it again. I remember thinking, I wasn't following... 9-volt is super. No, I was supposed to haze him. I remember not following Digimon and anime stuff closely. I remember thinking that Digimon Adventure Tri was just like a one-off movie. And so I saw the movie, what I thought was a movie, but then it turned out that it's like I was watching the second part or something. Yeah, it is interesting that the main antagonists in 02 were ultimately human. You know what I thought was ridiculous? I know it's very easy as a purist to really rag on the Digimon Adventure 02 English dubs. But I find them charming when in conjunction with the subtitled versions that are more faithful. Okay, I got it. Okay, that was a new one there. Yeah, Ken and Mr. Orikawa. Got it. But I find it fun that... What was I getting at? Oh yeah, I didn't understand that Digimon Adventure Tri was apparently a series of movies. Yeah, they were surprisingly faithful for a children's anime dub, in terms of, like, using, like, anglicized nicknames of the Japanese names, but keeping the Japanese names as the same ultimately, was kind of innovative. But I remember, like, but one thing you could really be, the points at which they're forced to censor things, and it's very, like, paper-thin censorship, is hilarious, where, like, you know the writers and the voice actors, they know this censorship is BS, and they're just having fun with it. But one thing that you can, you could get on them for, is that basically every quiet, thoughtful moment is replaced with bad jokes, pretty much. They're really cheesy, bad kitty jokes that are not in the original version. Got him. But I remember in... What was it? In Digimon Adventure 02, and the part where the different Digidestined from Japan are going around Japan... are going around the world, teaming up with Digidestined from different parts of the world, and they have to overcome language barriers in order to work together. There you go. And they totally kind of work... They kind of, like, got rid of that idea in the dub and decided to have them all speak English. Like, when they go to South America, Australia, and whatever. But except for when they go to Russia, the part when Yo Lee and Hawkmon go to Russia is so very specifically, like, written around the fact that they can't understand each other, that they were forced to make that one part in the dub be that they couldn't understand each other, and it was really awkward. But it's so cute in the Japanese dub. They have the kids, they have Japanese-speaking children phonetically speaking the different languages they're supposed to be speaking. So when they go to Australia, the kid, the adorable kid voice actor phonetically speaking English is like, "Hi, I'm from Australia," and I'm like, oh my gosh, like and the same effect is for all the different languages they speak, and obviously that's kind of hard to translate for an English-speaking audience. But, okay, so Reliat's catching me up to speed on Digimon Adventure Tri. It's a 6-hour-long episode film series depicting what the O1 class was doing in high school a year following O2's end. So I kind of had this sense that, okay, this is post-Digimon Adventure O2, but I was kind of confused by it. So, okay, I think I might have saw the second hour part of it or something weird like that, but then Last Evolution Kizuna takes place with the Digimon Adventure 01 cast has graduated college and the Digivices can't work because they lost their childhood potential. I mean, hey, their Digivice is not working because they lost their childhood potential. That's like a perfect analog for having your actual, like, our OG Digimon digital pet or your OG, you know, Digivice or D3, like that you got from like KB or Toys R Us, and finding it in a drawer years later and the batteries are dead on it. But they're saying the Digimon Adventure O2 movie is basically that, but only focusing on the O2 cast. And I like how the dub didn't try to conceal the fact that the kids were all from Japan. Yeah, that was... Well, heck, actually, just the other day... well, actually, yesterday was Odaiba Day. Yesterday was August 1st, which is the day that the cast gets... the original Digimon Adventure 01 kids get sent to the digital world. No, I chose the wrong doggo. What? Whoa. Okay. Wait. The D3 Digivices are getting a re-release. Is it Japan only? Because I got the OG Pendulum when those got a re-release. The D3 Digivices are getting a re-release. This is my chance to finally get did they fix the colors on them? Because the only one that looked proper to its anime colors was Ken's Digivice. Which which was not widely available. Premium Bandai, which services USA and Japan. I'm gonna make, hold on. My world got rocked because I just found out they're doing a re-release of the D3 Digivice. Hold on. D3 Digivice release date. The most current, the first thing, no, D2 Digivice. No, I need I did D3, D2, D3. From 2015. Okay. These links are from 2015 that I'm seeing. Will they release the Digivice? Okay. D3, I'm just... D3... Yeah, these links are from like 2016, 2020. Is this still not a thing? Oh, okay. Kotaku Collectibles. March 2024. Yeah, okay, I'll keep my eyes on that. Thank you, Reliat. Yeah, hopefully I can actually get the black one, because it's the most, this game is... Is my... No, my D3 They're pretty expensive. Yeah, I'll take it. Now, here's the thing. They better have the large screens like the Japanese one. I have no idea why they redesigned the screens on the American ones to be smaller, which is ridiculous. Because I had the blue one. Because, okay, so it's not anime. The color is not as anime accurate to Davis's D3. But at least it is like, okay, I have the main character's Digivice, so at least it's the main character's one, okay? But this version includes dialogue from Ken as well as his partner Digimon and Evolutions. Also included are theme and insert songs. Okay, that's pretty dope. Now, I remember hearing some weird thing I'd read online about the D3 Digivices. That's a... Oh, this version has been redesigned to include a rubber texture and full resolution color screen. All right, but here's the thing: can you get Doki Madness on it? That is the true question. And then TK tells you off, and he's like, "It's not a toy. If the digital world sent you a Digivice, it is serious, and you should take it as a matter of life and death." But okay. No, okay. Now here's what they have to do. They have to make a... What is the other thing they had? Like the D-Arc? No, the D-Arc was the Tamer's Digivice, the Tamer's era Digivice. What was the Wonder Swan thing that they would use? There was like the D3, and then there was the D3 Digivice, and then there was the Wonder Swan thing that they used like later, about halfway through Digimon Adventure 02. Honestly, I gotta tell you something, and it's like a Wonder Slam with a flip open cover that they send emails to each other on. Yeah, to access the armor evolutions that was just needed the that was something that, I'm trying to think. Okay, you needed the D3 and the Digimental, which was, or the Digi-Egg as they'd call it in the Japanese version, that to do the armor Digivolve, and then they would store the egg inside their Wonder Swan, the D Terminal, that's what it was called. I think it was called the D Terminal. And then there was the Terminap. Terminal. Yeah. I remembered it on my own. I'm so proud of myself that I remembered the name of the device they used to store the Digi-Egg in. Or Digimental, to be more proper to the dub. Nah. And what was did they need some other device in order to do the DNA Digivolve, as they called it in the dub? Or in the sub, Jogress Shinka. Yeah, but I'm like, what the heck is Jogress? They never the dub bugs me because they never the sub. They never explain what Jogress means. It's supposed to be a combination of the English words joint and progress. So it's saying joint progress evolution because it's two different Digimon like combining their abilities or whatever. But this game is intriguing. So after we get a game over out on this, we're going to check and see how many of these we've actually unlocked. Yeah, so it's like they actually... I think it's going to be worth the money that they're asking for this if they actually have, like, improved, like, build quality. Yeah, and I know there was a toy version of the D Terminal, which is kind of ironic because the D Terminal was based on the Wonder Swan to begin with. But Bandai produced a toy version of the D Terminal for the Japanese market. Is a database companion to the D3 toy. Oh wow, it's compatible with the D3 toy. In addition to database functionality, the player expands through playing minigames, battles, or connection to other devices. It can also be used to create digimental items to be sent to the D3 toy or certain Wonder Swan games. There was one for the US market, but it was heavily watered down. Yeah, it would make sense considering that the Wonder Swan was never marketed in North America. So, like, a lot of those features would be useless. You know, the Wonder Swan, aside from being Gunpei Yokoi's, sadly, his ultimate creation, there's something really nice and egalitarian about the Wonder Swan. And it's like, if you're a kid in Japan and don't have a lot of pocket money, right? The idea of a low-cost handheld that runs for hours and hours off only a single AA and has lots of games based on my favorite anime and manga properties from Bandai. That's a great cross-promotion right there, but that's exactly the reason why, as sadly, it was probably a very wise decision not to even attempt to market the Wonder Swan in North America. They're saying a lot of Digimon games came out prior to the US. Oh yeah, like a lot of Gundam, a lot of Bandai connected IP games were coming out on the Wonder Swan, which made it a great system for, you know, Japanese gamers of a certain age. I keep fouling up this minigame. This is like the worst possible minigame to play. Alright. Alright. I've got an ad break coming in a minute anyway, so I'll give myself... Yeah. Actually, now wouldn't be a bad time to call the stream. I will be back on... I'll be back on Saturday with a long play Game Boy Advance game. I have to set up my audio for on my analog pocket for this. I'll be back on camera as myself, and yeah, I'll be back. Oh, back in character. I'll be back on camera as myself. So thanks for joining me for this experimental stream with my PNG tuber avatar. I will see you all next time. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, and the Final Fantasy Legend also had remakes on the Wonder Swan. But I'll see you all next time.